Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Spiritual Astrology. So, while I'm uploading this, it is Thanksgiving in Canada. And you know what? I'm quite thankful of Cancer moons in my life. I can always tell a Cancer moon. But first, I'm going to talk about other things, about the specifics on why Cancer moon is interesting. But definitely, I'm going to get to the fact that Cancer moons are just the energy's so pure. And moon is something that you can pick up on someone because it's just such a core part of who people are. And the energy of the moon is so dense and it just meshes so perfectly with Cancer. And this, to me, kind of explains why Cancer moon is the feeling I always get, um, that helps me understand why the signs have their own planets and what feels more comfortable with different placements and whatever. So I actually just spent time with Cancer Moon. Probably the something why I realized I connect with them really well. I'm a Capricorn, of course, right, which is the opposite of Cancer, and but I do have my Moon in Gemini is so borderline Cancer that I'm definitely an emotional person. So I think it does have other things to do with my chart. But I have Cancer Jupiter conjunct my Gemini moon. So I honestly feel like I'm borderline Cancer moon. And I've seen the difference between Gemini and Cancer moon, and I honestly feel like I'm kind of in between. So it took me a long time to realize this because I was like, first, oh, I'm a Gemini moon. I'm, logical. I need to speak about things. I use words a lot. I'm articulate. And then Cancer moon, which is not like that. Like, the energy's similar when you meet a Cancer moon and a Gemini moon, but when you meet a Cancer moon, there's less logic. It's less words. It's way just more about the feeling of being bubbly. So Cancer moon is beautiful. A Cancer, I don't really feel the same energy at all from Cancer sun. So there are similarities between Cancer moon and Cancer sun. So let's speak about these similarities. The sun and the moon. Okay, the sun is your ego, generally. It's your core sense of self and what you're reaching for to attain and what you're looking within yourself to realize. So wherever this is placed in your chart is where you're going to shine. So if you have Cancer sun, your ego is going to be happiest in Cancer environment. Potentially, I've met a lot of Cancer suns that find good work in the hospitality industry, in a sense, a lot of hotels. So I've met Cancer people, Cancer moon and sun, and rising. Actually, I know someone with all three, Cancer moon, sun, and rising, that I said, you should probably work in a hotel, like, maybe buy a hotel, rent out, maybe real estate. And they're like, oh my God, I actually just bought a hotel. So it's perfect. Anyway, so but the Cancer moons that I know, you can feel that energy because the Cancer moons I know want to help people. It's like they emotionally need to just be there. Like, just basically, it's just like the Cancer moon is like, I'm an emotional being, and that's it. They just accept it. I find a lot of other moon placements don't necessarily gel well with their moon sign. Cancer moons are, it's secure. It's secure. That's probably the best way to explain it. It's so hard to describe. See, that's just the thing when you're an intuitive astrologer and you just know something about someone. It's all intuition. So you can read a book about astrology, but when it comes to certain things, it's intuition. Cancer moons even have this intuition. My Cancer moon sun cousin, my Cancer moon cousin. Oh my gosh, she is quite emotional and beautiful and bubbly. And I feel it has a lot to do with how her relationship with her mother is. Her mother is a Cancer rising from what I've calculated. And they are emotionally expressive towards one another, and it's just in such an emotionally instinctive way. Now, my Gemini moon, I have a relationship with my mother that's disconnected emotionally, but I'm moody. So Cancer moon is moody, and then Gemini moon is moody. But Gemini moon is kind of like consciously wants to be moody. Cancer moon is swept away by the tides of their emotions, but it's not intense. The reason why the moon is not happy or content in Scorpio is that Scorpio is emotions. Cancer is emotions. Scorpio is intense emotions. Usually built on intense aspects of life like war and sex. Cancer is just a more natural, family oriented, motherly energy. And the moon, being your emotions and mind, is just perfect here. So, these people I love hanging out with. I love listening to them talk. It has nothing to do, it's not in an emotional, it's not in an intellectual connected way, because I like hanging out with some of my friends. Me being so full of air signs, having intellectual conversations or watching documentaries. But emotionally, hanging around a Cancer moon is just so, I feel accepted. Basically, they just accept things. Like, it's just, a lot of people I think lie to themselves, and I think Cancer moons are just emotionally sincere. So for one, I can definitely sense Cancer moons in a few celebrities, even watching them acting, because I feel like they legitimately are just so good at expressing emotions facially. The Cancer moons I met, you empathize with them. You automatically sympathize with them because their ego is not there. It hasn't been built up because moon is in Cancer, and Cancer is just the sign before Leo. So this is a stage of life where the ego and sense of identity isn't there. It's kind of like you're like, you feel something, I feel something. Cancer moon is sensitive in that way. And these people generally will cry on the drop of a hat. Also, another thing that you can tell about a Cancer moon, if you're hanging out with them or if they're just in their home, they're going to talk about food, most likely. They'll talk more about food. Usually they want to eat a lot, but they're emotionally connected to food, and so am I, so that's why I feel like I'm on the border of Cancer. I do have an emotional connection to food, and I don't see it as a bad thing. Cancers don't see it as a bad thing. Cancer moons don't really see it as a bad thing, but they do know, their limits and everything depending on the rest of their chart. So anyway, one person that has a Cancer moon, I'm just going to mention because he actually influenced me to make my Mars series. He has Mars in Scorpio, is Chris Crocker. So, um, his videos are just so emotional. He's just so sincere about his emotions and his feelings and opinions, but they're all rooted. So, the negatives of Capricorn are kind of, I'm going to move on in life without having a family base. Capricorn can forget that, but Cancer has a family base. These people are rooted. It's something I guess I kind of lack, but I do, like I just said, I do have Jupiter in Cancer. So I appreciate it. I feel the positive energy around all of this. And the reason why I can tell the difference between Cancer and Sun and Cancer Moon, and I can always tell a Cancer Moon, and I can tell a Cancer Sun, and there's similarities. These people will both, generally, they like to smoke, so they have habits. So that's the thing as to why I said Cancer Moon is secure, because these people have habits, but they don't beat themselves up over it. So this is a very water sign thing. And I feel like this is super important. But Cancer suns and Cancer moons both generally have a higher chance of becoming smokers or higher chance of getting addicted to specific things. So it's less logically oriented. These people kind of live life based on habit. And this is the difference because when I'm hanging out with my Cancer moon friends or people I know, this is when I get annoyed. There's always something about some people that will annoy people. And this is where it's like, okay, you're emotional right now. They just all of a sudden get emotional. They might start smoking or drinking, and it's just like they just want to feel good. And to me, being so airy, I have to disconnect at this point because I don't relate. So it's either I'm gonna be quiet and just let them do their thing, and they won't be good to their bodies. So cancer's not really someone that thinks about health in that sense, really. Like sun or moon, you have to have something else in your chart generally to express this. I know some cancers that do work out, but generally they're led by emotions. And yes, they want to have a protective shell. So generally they just use simple tactics to kind of cover up their sensitivities. More so the sun. So the sun is kind of insecure in this sense, but the Cancer moon is super secure. Cancer, any placement is secure more than most other signs. Hopefully, I'm not rambling, but yeah, the Cancer sun, I generally don't feel comfortable around. Cancer moon, I love, probably because moon signs, they say that moon signs opposite a sun sign is a good thing. It's really positive. So I could definitely consider myself, marrying someone with a Cancer moon. It's a beautiful placement. I've had people with Cancer risings that have had feelings for me, and these people are just so loyal and rooted. It kind of balances me out. It honestly makes me happy. It just makes me feel like I'm around family. Um, some of these Cancer placements, it's a beautiful thing. So I hope I said enough. I'll be doing Moon in Leo, which is kind of a weird place for the moon. It's very intense. So, well, I think Cancer moon is very, it flows. It flows really well, and it's so natural, and it's so positive and secure and happy about expressing emotions. It doesn't feel upset that it cries. These people are just they would be just awesome teachers, emotional intelligence teachers. And then you move on to even Gemini moon and Leo moon. And these people start to get more mental. They get a bit crazy and they don't know how to stop themselves. So anyway, watch the rest of my moon series. I made a Mars series and I plan on after this making a Venus series. So I don't know when you're watching this, but watch out for my Venus series and I'm kind of making it a set. And hopefully if you watch multiple videos, you'll see that I'm trying to show the difference between these planets in your birth chart and what the energies really mean. Okay, thank you. Bye.